Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Yasir Hussain from Pakistan Studies Department, Army Public School and College, Ordnance Road. It's lecture number 9 in which we will have to discuss different topics such as Cabinet Mission Plan, formation of interim government, the 3rd June Plan, Indian Independence Act, and Emergence of Pakistan. The objectives of our today's lecture are: number 1, discuss the Cabinet Mission Plan, its proposal and reaction of political parties. Then highlight the events regarding formation of the interim government. The next one is that analyze the salient features of the 3rd June Plan and describe the Indian Independence Act and Emergence of Pakistan. Dear students, as usual, before proceeding further on today's lecture, let's have a quick recap of the previous lecture. In lecture number 8, we have discussed about the Shimla Conference and the elections of 1945-46. Students, the first topic is that of the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. Here, the Cabinet refers to the ministers of the sitting government. Now, the British government sent 3 members cabinet mission to India in March 1946. Those 3 members were Sir Stafford Cripps, A.V. Alexander, and Lord Patrick Lawrence. The purpose was to preserve the unity of the Indian Federation. Congress took the plea for the preservation of Indian Union and introduction of federal form of government. On the other hand, Muslim League put its idea of creation of Pakistan is the only solution of the Indian problems. So there was a big difference between the Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League on the Indian issues. The Cabinet Mission tried to bring both the parties to a conciliatory formula. For this purpose, talks were held at Shimla from 5th of May to 12th of May 1946 between the mission and the Indian leaders. After 7 sessions, no result could be achieved and the mission declared failed. Now coming to the recommendations and proposals of the Cabinet Mission Plan, although the mission's talks were failed with the Indian leaders, but still the Cabinet Mission decided to give its own recommendations and proposals. Therefore, the mission published its own proposals on May 16, 1947. Some of these proposals were: number 1, the subcontinent shall be a union comprising the British India and the princely states, and the union governments shall control foreign affairs, communications, and taxation. Then the second one, it was a very important point, that was the grouping scheme. The grouping scheme will be introduced and the provinces shall be divided into 3 groups. These 3 groups include Group A, that includes 6 Hindu majority provinces. Number 2 on here on the map. Then Group B, 3 Muslim majority provinces. On the map you can see number 1. Then Group C, 2 Muslim majority provinces. Here that was the Assam and Bengal, this 3 number on the map. The next point is that internal independence to the provincial groups was assured so that they can decide whether they wanted to remain part of a group or just want to quit it. And the last one was that of the establishment of the interim government until the formation of the new constitution at the center. Now coming to the reaction of political parties on these proposals. First of all, the reaction of the Indian National Congress. Its leader Gandhi interpreted the plan as an appeal and advice. On the other hand, the common Congress leaders liked the plan, and some of the common congressmen, they celebrated this in the streets as well. As far as the reaction of the Muslim League was concerned, the Muslim League approved the plan after 3 days discussion. The plan, although did not clearly provide for the demand for Pakistan, but Muslim League saw a ray of hope in the grouping scheme. It confirmed to join the Constituent Assembly in order to achieve its objectives through constitutional means. Dear students, now the second topic of this lecture is that of the formation of the interim government. It was the first step towards the implementation of the cabinet mission plan. As we have discussed earlier that one of the proposals of the cabinet mission plan was the formation of the interim government until the formation of the new constitution at the center. The Viceroy announced to form the government even if Congress or Muslim League decides to abstain, decides to not participate. On the other hand, Muslim League agreed to join the interim government, while Congress declined to join the interim government. Now here comes the break of trust by the Viceroy. The Viceroy did not keep its promise and not invited Muslim League to form the government. Due to this break of trust, Muslim League decided to withdraw its approval of the mission and announced the Direct Action Day. Now it's a Direct Action Day. As Congress had not accepted the cabinet mission plan's proposal of the formation of the interim government, still on 12th of August 1946, the Viceroy invited Congress to form the interim government. Therefore, as a protest, All India Muslim League called the Muslims to observe Direct Action Day on August 16. इसको उर्दू में रास्त अक़दाम भी कहते हैं. The Muslims all over India registered their protest and took out rallies against this decision of the Viceroy, against this trust break by the Viceroy. The Hindus, on the other hand, attacked the rallies of the Muslims, and Hindu-Muslim clashes erupted, especially in the city of Mumbai, where many people were killed and scores injured. After the observation of that Direct Action Day, and its consequences. Now it's time for All India Muslim League to join the interim government. Due to the changing scenario, the government invited the Muslim League to join the interim government. On 26th of October 1946, Muslim League's 5 ministers took oath of their offices. Nawabzada Liaquat Ali Khan took a key position of the finance minister in order to control all other ministries. This control over finance crippled the ministries of the Congress, and then later on the budget presented by Liaquat Ali Khan hit hard at the interests of the financiers of the Congress. Therefore, now Congress turned to plead for the partition. Students, the third important topic of today's lecture is that of the 3rd June plan. It is also known as the partition plan of the subcontinent. Regarding its background, the British Prime Minister Clement Attlee on 20th February 1947 declared certain points in the Parliament. The first point was that of India shall be given independence by June 1948. Number 2, on failure of the Constituent Assembly in framing the Constitution, the British government shall decide to transfer powers to central or certain provincial governments. And the third point was that Lord Mountbatten was appointed as a new viceroy to India in place of Lord Wavell. Here is the arrival of the Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten arrived in India on 22nd of March 1947. Mountbatten discussed matters with the Indian leaders and convinced that it was not possible to keep India united for a long period of time. So he worked out a partition plan and went back to England for getting approval. The British government granted the approval. All the major Indian political parties also approved the partition plan, after which Viceroy announced the partition plan on 3rd June 1947. Dear students, now we will discuss about the salient features of the partition plan. Number 1 was that the British government shall not impose its own constitution on India. Number 2, the provincial assemblies shall be entitled to decide which of the 2 constituent assemblies their respective provinces shall join. Number 3, the princely states were also offered option to join either of the 2 states or to remain independent. And the 4th point was powers were to be transferred by the British government to the new states with dominion status. Dear students, now the next topic of today's lecture is that of the Indian Independence Act 1947. With the approval of the partition plan, the Indian Independence Act was introduced in the British Parliament, which was passed by the British Parliament and ratified by the Crown in July 1947. The Act was framed according to the principles mentioned in the 3rd June plan. Now here are the main points or the salient features of the Indian Independence Act. Number 1 was that the British rule over India will come to an end on August 15, 1947. Number 2 was that the title of the Emperor of India will no more form a part of the titles of the British Crown after that date. And the third point was the successor states, that is Pakistan and India, will be run under the Government of India Act 1935 as an interim constitution until their own constitutions will not be formed. Dear students, now the last topic of today's lecture, that is Emergence of Pakistan. As you know, Pakistan came into being on 14th of August 1947. Qaid-e-Azam became the first Governor General, and the freedom movement of the Muslims of India entered into a new phase. Now, according to that 3rd June partition plan and that of the Indian Independence Act, the provinces have to join either to Pakistan or India. Therefore, here we are going to discuss about the provinces which joined Pakistan. Punjab and Bengal assemblies decided to join Pakistan, but on the demand of the non-Muslim members of the Punjab and Bengal, separate boundary commissions were set up for the demarcation of the boundaries, which we will discuss in detail in the next chapter regarding the Radcliffe Award and its commission. Sindh Assembly decided to join Pakistan. Balochistan Shahi Jirga decided to join the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan as well, whereas NWFP, which is now KPK, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Sylhet district, through referendum also decided to join Pakistan. Students, let's have a quick recap that in a sequence we have discussed first the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946, then the formation of the interim government, then the 3rd June Plan, then Indian Independence Act, and at the end, Emergence of Pakistan. Dear students, now it's the time for the task. As usual, you will have to read and highlight thoroughly the pages 20 to 24 and the relevant topics, then try to understand the concepts. One short question that was left in this exercise, chapter number 1, question number 10, it's about what were the salient features of the Indian Independence Act. You will find its answer on the relevant page. 3 points were given over there. You will have to note it down from there. Then coming to the long questions, 3 last long questions. Question number 13, what was the Cabinet Mission Plan? How did the Congress and the Muslim League react to it? On page number 20 to 21, the whole topic, the headings were given, and you will have to prepare it accordingly. Then question number 14, in what circumstances the 1946 interim government was established? What fate did it meet? You will have to answer this on page number 22. You will have to give headings and prepare it. Then question number 15, give a background account of the 3rd June Plan. Also give its salient features. You will find its answer on page number 23 to 24. You will have to give headings for this as well, because the long questions need elaboration, detail as along with headings. Dear students, that's it. With this we completed chapter number 1. Do complete the assignments. Take care. Allah Hafiz.